Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Kelly, and this is a life well spent. And on this channel, I'm documenting my financial journey. One of the biggest reasons I do this is because I've found that when I'm not, I don't pay as close attention as I should and as I want to. And I tend to completely blow my budget. So I've been trying to get back into the swing of recording videos and keeping track of what I'm doing so it stays in the forefront of my mind. Today is Tuesday, so it's a transfer Tuesday. It's something new I'm doing this year to reinforce my goals and the steps I'm taking to reach those goals. I don't know if my goal video has posted yet or not. I know I filmed it, but I'm trying some new things out with Canva, and so I'm not quite sure if I actually finished that video yet. But one of the goals that I want to kind of maximize what I have in my sinking funds, and I am hoping to max out my HSA this year, which that honestly money is just going to come out of my account until probably about the end of the year, because there's a pretty big jump this year in what is allowed by the IRS to put into an HSA. So what I've typically done, because it's kind of a pain to keep going down to HR and like adjust the payments, I just kind of wait till my last pay in December, and then I look at, whatever the difference is. Um, but yeah, so what I'll probably end up doing is taking one of the months where I have a 3-pay month. I have one in, I think it's May and November. So I'll just take the money in November, kind of set it aside with a plan to put it in my HSA in December with the exact amount. So I'm able to max it out. I also want to max out my Roth IRA. I'm on pace to do that. I do $500 a month, which was maxing it out until last year. And then at the last minute, I realized, well, I mean, not last minute, it's probably like September. I realized that the actual limit for the year was 6,500, and this year for 2024 it is 7,000. So that's something that I kind of had to make a plan for moving forward to make sure the money got in there. And I used a little bit of my tax return, or essentially that's what I'm going to do, because I accidentally put in an extra payment this month. So my tax return is going to kind of replace that when I got it, or at least that was my plan. And I got it actually today. My return my refund got into my bank account today. So that's a little bit what I'm going to do. But so it dropped into my checking account. So to replace the $500, that's great. And then I'm going to do something with the other 14. I got 1932 in my tax return. So I'm going to do something with the other 1432. Now, I'm also planning, when I get a third pay month, or maybe even I usually sell back vacation days at the end of the year, and that's usually like, I don't know, around $700-800 by the time they take taxes and everything out of it. So I could put that money towards the last $500 payment that I need. And so that's just going to be kind of my plan moving forward. I want to get $20,000 in my emergency fund. Right now, it only has like 14,000 and change. I don't know why 20,000 seems like a magic number for me, but it is. And so that's kind of what I'm shooting for. And I'd like to be able to actually at that point leave about 5,000 in my like regular account, just so that like I definitely have money there, and then try to put the other 15 into a high yield savings account. Like I feel like I don't have enough money to put money into a high yield savings account. And part of me just really needs to understand that like $1,000 in a high yield savings account is better than nothing. Right. So it is a thing I need to get on for sure this year. But yeah, so today is to transfer Tuesday. I have my taxes. So that's what actually I'm just going to kind of talk about what I'm doing with that. So if the 500 replaced my IRA payment extra contribution, and I'm going to use the others to kind of max out some of my sinking funds so that I'm able to keep money in there. And while I was looking at, I used to keep my sinking funds in, I still do technically keep them in a second checking account, because I was like, well, I don't really want them in savings, because like money's in, out, in, out, in, out. And that's not good for savings. And in fact, like by law, there's only so many withdrawals you can take from savings. So, at least in the United States, and I would imagine it's probably similar everywhere around the world. But the reason being is the money that you have in savings is like, it's not like it's in It's not like the bank physically has it. They take that money that you gave them and loan it out. So like, you know, that's how banks operate and that's how banks make their money. So like they don't want you making like 18 bajillion withdrawals because they don't necessarily have the money on hand. So anyway, all that to say, I'm thinking like at this point, my sinking funds have like $5,000 in there. And if I moved the 1,400 left over from my tax return, I'm looking at like six or almost $7,000 in a checking account. That like just doesn't make any sense, right? That money could be making me money somewhere else. Even if it's just like my regular, like I'm not making anything off my checking account, right? Like even my regular savings account at least is giving me some interest. So it seems silly to not get anything out of that. Um, and the more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, realistically, I try to buy everything, even my subscriptions. I try to buy them, purchase everything on like a Discover card or something like that for the points. And then I'm just paying the card. So if all I really have to do is just make a transfer out of my savings account like one time, like maybe that's the better route to go, right? So, um yeah, I figure I have enough money that I can operate and reconcile how I need to at the end of the month to pay what needs to be paid. So I think I'm going to try that. So the first thing I did when I with my transfer Tuesday was to transfer everything from my checking account, the second checking account that I have, over to the savings account. And I left about, actually I had to write it down. Hang on. I left about $266.39. Just, I didn't feel like transferring the change in there because 220 some dollars of that I think is for subscriptions. And I'm not positive that all my subscriptions will click over to my Discover card yet. So I'm hopeful that so I'll keep moving the subscription money in there. But after that, like I will not do that. So yeah, like I said, I'm hopeful. A lot of them are signed up through PayPal, and I've now made Discover like my PayPal primary card. So I think I'm probably okay, but it's just something that like I want to keep an eye on and make sure I don't want to like withdraw too little money. In fact, I might just put a couple $100 over there just to be extra safe because I certainly don't want to be getting a fee because I withdrew, and there are times when like because there was more money in the whole sinking fund account, like there were times where my subscription account went negative just because a bunch of things were due at once. But the money eventually, it gets replaced and like there's enough money in there to float everything. But I'll go months without having to pay for anything out of that fund, and then it gets, it builds up and blah blah blah. So it's not something I really worried about, but I'll worry about it now if that's the only thing in that account. So, realistically, I think I'll be able to close that account when I get to the point where I can ensure that every subscription thing that I have charges to my Discover card and not like the debit card for this. So, yeah, I guess we will go for there or from there and see. So right now for my transfer Tuesday, I've already done everything from that second checking account to the savings account. And I'm now going to take my tax return and transfer it over. I'm just doing it on my phone. Minus the $500 that I'm putting back into my checking account for the year. I've actually spent a little more than I was initially anticipating. So, because I decided to buy this little package deal, and it was like $99. So probably like, I don't know, 106, 107 with taxes and stuff, or 105 maybe. And it's a whole thing to do a living revocable trust and a will, which I already have a will, but I don't have a living revocable trust. So I wanted to get one of those around. I have a power of attorney, but I don't know that I have a medical power of attorney. So anyway, all of those four things were all in the package together. So, and that was like, it was $99 and the whole thing just kind of walks you through it, which is way cheaper than going to a lawyer. I mean, they do recommend if you have a lawyer, you have a lawyer look through it, but, I think it's probably pretty solid once you get it signed and you start funding your trust and all of that, you should be fine. So, anyway, I wasn't really expecting to pay that. I just kind of thought more and more about it, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do that. So I like whatever, it'll be a little less money that goes into a sinking fund this month. Like that's going to be one of my bigger goals is to get um, everything funded in those sinking funds as much as possible. And some of this money is going to go towards that. And so some of them are maxed out at this, well, not maxed out, but like at the limit I want. So I'm pretty happy with that. And then we'll just kind of keep building toward something. But there we go. I'm going to hit the done button. We're going to transfer. Let me see. Actually, I'm going to put a memo in here. Tax return to max sinking funds. I just like to make notes for myself. So at some point, I don't remember enough things in life. So I get to a point where I will look back at that and go, what in the world did I move that money for? Holy Lord, look what that looks like now. It's always so nice. Always so nice. Oh, I'm going to have to start reshaping like my thinking because I've been looking at that savings account going, okay, like it had like 14 some $1,000s in it before I just moved a bunch of money in there. And I was like, okay, so like 14,000, like that's your emergency fund. There you go. Because then you look at like the total accounts, you know what I mean? Like if the total account say like $50,000, but only like, 14 of that is your savings, then like, that's not what the numbers are for the record, but, you see like the total and you're like, wow, look at all that money. And then you have to remember like, wait a minute, a lot of that money is already been spent. So that's not exactly what I have in savings. So yeah, anyway, so we're going to try it this way and see how that goes. Like I said, I think I will move some from my checking at this point. Yeah. I'm going to move some from my checking to that second checking account just to be on the safe side. Really makes me paranoid. So, we're going to go right now. That leaves me with $3,885.52 with my checking account. So let's transfer. We start with 3,600. So let me do 2,885.52. Ooh, no, wait. That's not what I want. I want 285.52. That's better. So put a little note in there so I know what the heck I transferred that over for. All right. So I did just get paid on Friday too, so that's nice. And I probably at this point could move more money over. But I think I will wait until next Tuesday to kind of see where I'm at. Yeah, because on the 20th, I'm just checking a calendar. On February 20th, I will get a few days away from a paycheck, so I'll have a better sense of like how much money I'm gonna have until the following Tuesday, so I can move some money around. It might not be a lot, it might just be a little bit. I mean, at this point, I'm looking at. Well, I was looking at going skiing tomorrow, but it looks like the snow we got did not happen. We were supposed to get like 10 to 14 inches in some of the areas where the great skiing is, and alas, that did not happen. So much for that. So I probably won't go skiing now, but I have and I'm not going skiing on the weekend because it's President's Day, and listen, 3-day weekend holidays are the absolute worst time to go skiing because everybody goes then. So I avoid that if possible. I might ski the weekend after or the first weekend in March. I might like go up to Killington or something. I don't know. I hate that I've been skiing twice and it's just been a crappy winter for skiing, unfortunately. So, yeah. All that to say, I'm not sure how much more money I'm gonna need to spend other than buying groceries. We, got rid of so this is fantastic. We got rid of, Amazon Prime finally. So, that's cool. That's gonna prevent me, I think, from ordering a lot of stuff. I don't know. I'm uncertain how this is gonna go because on the one hand, we on the one hand, you can get free shipping if you have $35. So I could totally see myself being like, "Oh my god, I want this thing. It's only like $25. What can I buy for $10 so that I can get free shipping? Because that will actually save me money because shipping will be $15 or whatever." Um, so I could see myself ending up like buying more than I want, but also not buying nearly as many things. And I'll be like, you know, I don't really need that now, but maybe I'll just put that in the cart. And then, when I finally get up to $35 of things that I really want or really need, then, pull the trigger and buy something. So I don't know. I feel like it could go both ways. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting experiment. It was entirely too expensive for things that like I don't really think was really worth the value. And if it prevents me from making impulse purchases, so much the better, right? I think I no longer have access to Prime Days, which is kind of weird, but not a bad thing because a lot of times with Prime Days, like I think I'm fairly good at only buying things I want to be buying in the first place, but there are some times where I'm like, "You know what? Yeah, that's a price I'll buy that at." And like I probably could go without it. But anyway, hopefully that will trim back the shopping a little bit. Not that I had a really huge problem with shopping. What helps for me, like I said earlier in the video, is doing these videos, doing especially my weekly transaction videos. Um, that really helps me keep my spending in the forefront of my mind and so that I'm not like going overboard. Um, but yeah, there we are. What goals do y'all have? Leave a comment. Let me know. Where are you participating in a Transfer Tuesday? If you are, where are you putting your money right now? The point of I should probably have led with this. The point of a Transfer Tuesday is to help you move your money where you want it to go and achieve your goals. So right now, mine is I'm trying to up my savings overall, and I want to be able to put, you know, have enough money in some of my sinking funds so that I can stop putting money every month into my sinking funds. I want to kind of get them to the point where they're maxed out, and then I really only have to kind of replace what's been spent. Um, and I had been really good at doing that for a while, but got away from making videos, got away from like really, really keeping on top of. I mean, there'd be times I didn't even like reconcile at the end of the month. Or I didn't kind of week to week. And then at the end of the month was like, whoa, did I go way over budget? So all that to say, this is hopefully an effort to get me to stop doing that, and we'll see how it goes. If you are still with me, thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time.